So digital circuits are designed in two different ways. So mainly two types. The first one is combinational logic design or combinational logic circuit. Combinational logic design, or someone has also tell combinational logic circuit. Logic circuit. In short form, it also told CLC. And digital circuits are also designed in sequential logic design. Sequential logic design, or it's also called sequential logic circuit. Sequential logic circuit. In the short form, it's called SLC. Okay. So mainly the thing is, first very important question: what is the difference between combinational logic circuit and sequential logic circuit? Difference between CLC and SLC. Okay, so two more question can come up. So the thing is, what is CLC? CLC means combinational logic circuit is a digital circuit whose output is only depend on the present input. So this is my combinational logic circuit whose output mainly depends upon the present inputs. Okay, so this is my combinational logic circuit. Okay, so output of this combinational logic circuit only depends on function of present input only. It doesn't depend on the past output or past input. Okay, that is called combinational logic circuit. Few examples of combinational logic circuit are arithmetic circuits. Arithmetic circuits like adder circuit, subtractor circuit, and code converters like binary to gray, gray to binary, binary to gray, gray to binary, and all. Okay, gray to binary. Next, it has multiplexer, demultiplexer. Then few more examples are encoder, decoder, okay, and some parity checkers, parity checker and detector. So these are the few examples of the combinational logic circuit where output is only depends upon the present input. Do you understand now? Very simple and very important, where output is only depends upon the present input. Now we'll go for sequential logic circuit, SLC, sequential logic circuit. Sequential logic circuit is a digital circuit whose output not only depends on the present input but also the past outputs. Okay, so this is your SLC, which is having CLC. Also, the output depends upon the past output. So past output is stored in the memory unit. Okay, it's stored in the memory unit. This is the past output where the it's stored, and it depends upon the, this is present input and these are my output. Okay, so what do you understand? Sequential logic circuit, the output depends upon the present input as well as the past output. So that is the reason those past outputs are stored in the memory unit. Whenever it required, it just input to the combinational logic circuit, then it becomes completely the sequential logic circuit. Okay, understand all of you? So now what are the examples of sequential logic circuit? The examples are basic latches, okay, which is basic memory unit, okay, and flip-flops. Next, counters. Next, registers. Next, shift registers. Okay, now the thing is, what is how is it all, like, do you know the counters? Counters means you want to count from, let's say, 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9 you have to count. So what you need to do, you need to know what is the previous counting value. From there you start counting. Okay, let's say I have counted 0 1 2 3 4, then I start telling you now you count. So you just has to know that I have counted up to 3, then you can start counting from 4. Okay, so the past output is here 3, that need to be stored in this memory element. That memory, basic memory element is flip flop. Okay, so it should be stored in that memory element. Whenever it's required, that should be feedback to the input. So there is a feedback path. Another difference in the combinational logic circuit, there is a feedback path. There is no feedback path from output to input in combinational logic circuit, but there is a feedback path from output to input. Okay, feedback from output to input. So these are the basic difference between your combination logic circuit and sequential logic circuit. Very important 2 mark question, students. Now next part is, so how to design the combination logic circuits, the design flow. What is the design? So we'll start now combination logic circuit first, later the sequential logic circuit. Next unit is your sequential logic circuit. So mainly the design flow for combination logic circuit is, you first has to know the problem statement. You need to identify what is the problem, that is problem statement. After that, you need to construct the truth table. For constructing the truth table, you should know the behavior of the circuit. Next, after that, you have to derive the k-map from the truth table. We have already done all these things, how we have derived the truth table from the k-map. If the outputs, there are two different outputs in the truth table, let's say a, b, c are three inputs and x and y are the outputs. So you have to derive the k-map for x and y, and you have to next, you have to solve or simplify this x and y to get the output function. So you have to find out the output function which is simplified form, because you have done the k-map, so it gets simplified. Okay, it may be SOP, it may be POS. Okay, if you are taking zeros, then it will form POS or max terms. If you are taking ones or min terms, you will get the simplified SOP function. Okay, after output function, what you need to do, you need to have logic circuit implementation. This is the basic design flow. Okay, so all of you understand what is the design flow of combination logic circuit to design. First, you have to understand the problem statement, then you have to derive or construct the truth table. From the truth table, let's say you are taking max terms, you get the k-map to get the simplified POS. If you are taking min terms, take the k-map, solve for SOP, then you will get the simplified SOP. Then after that, do the logic circuit implementation. The logic circuit implementation can be of different ways, like basic logic gates, using the AND OR, using the NAND, using the OR AND, using the NOR, and also we have also discussed about AOI and OAI. So these are the different ways you can implement those things. Okay, so for this AND OR, we need the function should be SOP. For NAND, we need the function should be SOP. OR AND, we need the function should be POS. NOR, we need the function should be POS. Okay, so the next part, what is the basic design procedure of combinational logic circuit? First of all, design flow we understand. Now design procedure for combinational logic design or combinational logic circuit. Okay, so first step one is, you need to understand the problem clearly. Understand the problem clearly. Okay, next step two would be, identify the number of input output variable required for that design. Identify the number of input and output variables required for that particular digital circuit to design. Okay, next step three, assign the letter symbol. To all the variables. Okay, you need to assign the letter symbols to all the variables. Means, let's say you have identified it required 3 inputs and 2 outputs. Now what you need to do, those 3 inputs and 2 outputs, you have to assign the letter symbols, like inputs A, B, C and outputs X and Y. You have to assign some letter symbols to it. Okay, next step 4 would be, construct the truth table depending upon the behavior of the circuit. You have to construct the truth table depending upon depending upon the behavior of the circuit, depending upon the behavior of the circuit. Okay. Next, step 5, you need to simplify. Okay, you need to find the functions for every output variable with the help of KML. Okay, find the function for every output variable. Let's say we have two outputs x and y. For every output variable for x and y, you need to find out the simplified function. Okay, simplified function, it may be SOP or it may be POS. You need to find out the simplified function. Okay, but you have to find out the function of every output variable with the help of KML, with the help of KML. Let's say we have two outputs, so two functions you would get, but it should be simplified version, so that will be with the help of KML. Okay, next, step 6 would be draw the logic diagram. Draw the logic diagram for the above functions. Let's say you have got two output variables, two output functions, so you have to implement those output functions to get the final combinational logic circuit. Okay, do you all understand? These are the basic steps you have to follow to get any type of combinational logic circuit to design. First of all, you should understand the problem statement. Next, identify the number of input output variables required to design that particular combinational logic circuit. Next, you have to assign the letter symbol to all the variables. Next, step 4 will be construct the truth table depending upon the behavior of the circuit. Then find the function for every output variable with the help of KML. And the end, step 6, draw the logic diagram for the above functions. Okay, then you have to implement. Step 6 is implement. It may be with the help of AND or NAND or AND or not, depending upon is given in the question or your wish. If it is nothing has been given, you can use basic logic gates to design it. Okay, any doubt on this, students? So these are mainly design procedures or design functions. Okay, so next thing, so we'll start designing the basic combinational logic circuit is arithmetic circuits. Arithmetic circuits. So under arithmetic circuit, there are two different types of arithmetic circuits are there. One is adder circuit and another one is subtractor circuit. Okay, subtractor circuit. We'll see one by one. Under adder, again there is two different types of adder circuits: half adder and full adder. Similarly, subtractor, under two different types of subtractor: half subtractor and full subtractor. Okay, so now we'll start designing the first one, the adder circuit. Okay, the adder circuit. Under adder circuit, there will be basic adder circuit is a half adder circuit. Okay, so this is very important in point of exam point of view, as well as midterm, as well as main exam, any point of view, this is very important. So need to know what is half adder and how to design it with the help of those 6 steps we have discussed just now. Okay, what is half adder? Half adder is a combinational logic circuit. Mainly half adder is a combinational. In some of the books they will write HA also. HA means half adder. Half adder is a combinational logic circuit. Combinational logic circuit which adds two binary digits. Okay, so do you all understand what is half adder? Half adder adds two binary digits, means 0 plus 0 it may add, 0 plus 1 it may add, 1 plus 0 it may add, 1 plus 1 it may add. So it adds two binary digits. Okay, that's the half adder. From now, what is step 1? Step 1 is you need to understand the problem statement. So problem statement is here. What is the question? Question is design a half adder. Okay, so half adder is a combination of the circuit which adds two binary digits. So you understand the concept what is actually required to design. That is the problem statement. After that, what you need to do? What is step 2? Step 2 is identify the number of inputs and output variables required. So obviously a half adder So this is my half adder, which is a combination logic circuit I am going to design. Let's say this is my half adder. So how many inputs are required? Only two inputs are required. Why? Because half adder adds two binary digits. So two binary digits means obviously let's say A and B, each are of 1-bit binary digit. Okay, each are of 1-bit binary digit thing. Okay, now what are the outputs? It will give us either sum and carry. Okay, do you all understand? So mainly we have identified in the step 2, it requires two inputs and two outputs. So if you add this, we have sum 0, carry would be 0. If you add this sum 1, carry 0. If you add this sum 1, carry 0. If you add this sum 0, carry 1. Like this way it has the things it will give us. Okay, sum and carry will be the output. So what is step 3? You have to assign the letters. We have already assigned the letters. These are the two input variables we have assigned with A and B. These are the two output variables we have assigned with sum and carry. So this is the circuit you have to design. Inside this sum of the circuit you have to design so that it will perform this particular operation, which adds two binary digits. Okay, any doubt on this? So next thing is here, what is step 4? You need to construct the truth table. Okay, so step 4 is you have to construct the truth table. Now the thing is, what is my truth table? What is the relationship between truth table and input output? Truth table is nothing else the relationship established between input and output, and truth table will be constructed from the behavior of the circuit. Okay, so obviously here truth table, it has actually A, B, two inputs and two outputs, let's say sum and carry. Okay, sum and carry. These are my inputs and outputs. Okay, now what are the two inputs? These are our single binary digits. Okay, so obviously it may be 0 0, it may be 0 1, it may be 1 0, it may be 1 1. Okay, so now what is sum? Sum is 0 plus 0, it's 0, carry 0. 0 plus 1, sum 1, carry 0. 1 plus 0, sum 1, carry 0. 1 plus 1, sum 0, carry 1. Okay, so depending upon the behavior of the circuit, we have constructed the truth table. Okay, so this is the basic truth table. Now what you have to do? You need to next step 5 is what you need to do. You have to find the function for every output variable with the help of K-map. With the help of K-map, you need to identify the functions. Okay, what are the functions? How many functions it would be? Obviously it has two outputs, sum and carry, so we require two functions. Okay, two functions for sum and carry. So we need to construct the K-map to find out this. Okay, okay, so in order to construct this, we have already seen the truth table. It has A, B, sum and carry. Okay, A, B, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1. So this is the truth table. Now step 5 is here you need to find out the functions for sum and carry by using the K-map. Okay, so this is my step 5. Okay, step 5 is I have to find out the output functions. What are my output functions? Sum is my output function. How to find out? We have to construct the K-map to find out. So here how many variable? It's two variable. So we need a two variable K-map. So what is my two variable K-map? A and B are the variables. So which require 4 cells. So we have A, B. This is my B bar B. This is my A bar A. And we know the min-term positions. These are my 0, 1, 2, 3 according to the gray code. And we need to put those functions 0 0 1 1 0. Okay, wherever the min-term, this is my min-term 0, min-term 1, min-term 2, min-term 3. So min-term 1 and 2 actually my 1, others are 0. Now what I have to do? I have to just has to combine those. So this is actually single combination possible because there is no adjacent min-terms and all. And we know that what is actually common value here? A bar B. And what is here? A B bar. So finally what we got? Sum, which is A bar B or A B bar. Okay, and finally we got this is nothing else my A XOR B. Okay, so we got sum as A XOR B. What is step 5? Step 5 told that you need to find out all the output functions. So we have find out the output functions. So now I have to find out the output function carry also by using the K-map. Okay, so for carry also we have this truth table. So we have actually again it's a two variable, so we can construct a two variable KMF for carry as well. Okay, so this is my two variable KMF which requires for 2 square 4 cells. So this is A B bar B, A bar A. And what are the minterm positions? Minterm positions are 0, 1, 2, 3, and we can put those minterm positions, that minterms. So we have minterm 3 will be 1, others are 0. So we can put those things. Minterm 3 is 1, other places it's 0. Now we can start combining. So how the combination would be? The combination only will be single term, and what is common here? AB. So we got carry, which is AB. Okay, so what is step 6? Now step 6 is we have to implement the output functions. So output functions are what? Sum is A XOR B and carry is A and B. Okay, so we can implement it by using basic gates. If nothing is given to implement, so you can implement it using basic gates. So you can see here, this is my A, this is my B. I can take XOR gate to get A XOR B, which gives me sum. Okay, now this is my B and this is my A. If I put AB, it gives me carry. So this is the circuit of the half adder, which gives me 2-bit addition. So it actually adds two binary bits. Okay, these are the two binary bits, and we got the sum and carry as my output. Okay, do you all understand? So in this black bus we have designed here, this black bus, it contains one XOR gate like this, and finally it will go to sum, and it contains one AND gate, and it goes to carry. So this is my digital circuit, and this digital circuit only depends upon the present input. That's why it's called combinational logic circuit. Okay, do you all understand now? So then this is the basic combinational logic circuit, the adder circuit or half adder circuit. Okay, now we'll do for the next logic circuit, that is next adder circuit is actually a full adder. Okay, now the thing is, what is full adder? Full adder is nothing else, a combinational logic circuit. Full adder is a combinational logic circuit which adds three binary digits, which adds three binary digits. Do you all understand? Okay, so which adds three binary digits. Now the question is, what is step step 1? You have to identify the problem statement. The problem statement is here, you have to design a combinational circuit which adds three binary digits. By looking into it, how many input and output variables required? It requires three input variables, obviously each are of 1-bit binary. Okay, and it requires sum and carry out is the output type. Okay, so there will be three input and two output required to design this full adder. Okay, so we just require three input and three inputs and two output to design this full adder. Some of the books they will write full adder as well, FA. Okay, so now what is step 3? Step 3 is you have to assign the letter symbol to all the inputs and output. So I'm assigning here, this is A, B, C, and this I have assigned as sum and carry. Okay, understand? So these are the different inputs and outputs, three inputs and two outputs required to design this full adder. Now what is step 4? My step 4 is to construct the truth table. So in order to construct the truth table, we should know the input and output variable relationship. How it looks like is actually going to A. Okay, so how the addition will happen, do you understand? So this is actually A or B or C, or are 3 bits. Okay, let's say 0 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so what will happen here? First it will going to add this 0 and 1. Whatever result comes up here, it will going to add here with 1. Okay, then it will provide sum and carry. This is the way operation will happen. Okay, so now we'll see what is the truth table. To do this, we had actually inputs A, B and C, and outputs are my sum and carry. So these are my outputs. So now if there is 3 inputs, then obviously how many combinations of possible? 2 to the 3, 8 combinations possible. 8 combinations of input possible. What are those? 0 0 0, 0 0 1, 0 1 0, 0 1 1, 1 0 0, 1 0 1, 1 1 0 1 1 1. Okay, so now what, how the addition I have told, first it is going to add between these two, and finally whatever result comes between a plus b, it will add with c. So 0 plus 0, sum is 0, again 0 plus 0 0, carry is also 0. Okay, now 0 plus 0, sum is 0, 0 plus 1, sum is 1, carry is 0. Okay, 0 plus 1, sum is 1, 1 plus 0 1 0. Okay, 0 plus 1, sum 1, then 1 plus 1, sum 0, carry 1, because 1 plus 1 is sum 0, carry 1. 1 plus 0, sum 1, 1 plus 0 1 0. 1 plus 0, sum 1, 1 plus 0, 1 plus 1, 0, 1, carry 1. 1 plus 1, sum 0, carry 1, already there is a carry. Next, 0 plus 0, 0. 1 plus 1, sum is 0, already there is a carry. 0 plus 1, 1. Okay, so this is my truth table. Do you all understand? Very simple. What I have done, I have just first added a plus b. Whatever result comes, that result added with c. So here you can see how we have done 1 plus 1 plus 1. How we have done? How we have got sum and carry? 1 plus 1, that is sum is 0. The sum between these two is 0, and carry is already 1. So I have put the carry 1 directly here. Next, 0 plus 1, sum is 1. Understand? Like this way I have done the addition. Very simple. Okay, next what we need to do, we need to step 5. What is step 5? You need to, step 5 is we need to find out the output functions using the KMF. So here what are the output functions? Sum and carry are my output functions. So sum is what actually? It's a 3 variable. Obviously a b c is given, a b c are 3 variables. So in order to find out sum, we need a 3 variable KMF which has actually 8 cells. Okay, so that's why I have constructed a 8 cells in order to design this sum KMF. Okay, so here what are the inputs? Inputs are a b c. So this is my b bar, c bar, b bar c, b c, b c bar, a bar, and a. And what are the minterm positions? The minterm positions are 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, now what I need to do here, I need to put those minterm positions. What are the minterm positions here? This is m1, m2, next m4 and m7. m1, m2, m4, m7, I have 1. Okay, m1, m2, m4, m7. Other places it's 0. Okay, just from the KMF I have just derived it, nothing else. Now what are the combinations possible here? What are the combinations possible? These are, there is no adjacent minterm, so all are single. There is no pair, no quad and all. So what is this? This is called a b bar c bar. This is a b bar c. This is a b c, and this is a bar b c bar. Okay, so now what we have got here, we have got my sum. Excuse me. We have got here sum as a b bar c bar, a b bar c, a b c, and a bar b c bar. Okay, am I correct or anything we have missed? So this is a bar b bar c. So nobody is identifying me anything. Okay, a bar b bar c, a b bar c bar, a b c, a bar b c bar. Okay, so now what I have to do, I'm just rearranging, I'm bringing these two together and these two together here. So what I have got here, just see here, just I'm bringing a b bar c bar and a b c one place, and other place a bar b bar c, a bar b c bar. Next, a I'm taking this due to law here, a b bar c bar b c, or here also a bar I am taking common, b bar c or b c bar. And what we know that this b bar c bar or b c is nothing else my b x nor c. Am I correct? Next, this one we can say that this is b x or c. So now what we got here, let's say, suppose I am taking this a as x, let I am taking a as x, and b x nor c I am taking as y. So what we have got here, this is actually sorry, B XOR C as Y. Okay, B XOR C as Y. So I can express this also in this way. Just see here, I can express this B XOR C whole bar. Can I express? Because we know that in two variable, B XOR C is opposite to that of B XOR C. Am I correct? So that is the way I have done. So this is B XOR C. So what we have done here, I have taken A as X and B XOR C as Y. So this will be look like this, X Y bar and X bar and Y. So this is what actually, this is X XOR Y. Can I say? If it is X XOR Y, now tell me what is my X? X is A, and what is my Y? Y is B XOR C. So finally what we got? The sum is nothing else, A 3 input XOR A XOR B XOR C. Okay. Next, we need to find out the same thing, the output function carry. Any doubt on this, students? Whatever I have done, please look into it one more time. If you have doubt, tell me. Very simple. What I have done here, I have done. We know that actually B XOR C is equal to B XOR C whole bar. Okay, that only I have put here, nothing else. Okay. Next, carry. For carry also we need how many? There is three variables. So for carry also we need a kmap, which is actually three variable kmap. So this will be my three variable kmap, and here variables are A, B, C. Okay, for this we need 8 cells. So these are my A, B, C, and this is my B bar, C bar, B bar, C, B, C, B, C bar, and this is my A bar and A. What are the minterm positions? The minterm positions are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we can put those minterm positions, whatever the minterm positions are. So this is for M3, we have 1. For M5, we have 1. For M6 and for M7. M3, M5, M6, M7. So for M3, M5, M6, M7, we have 1. Other places 0. Okay. Next, what you need to do, we have to start grouping. So grouping would be like this. All are pairs. Okay, and we have used the rule that one minterm can be used multiple times if it gives a minimum number of literal. So here what is common here? A, B, for this AC, for this common is BC. And finally what we got? Carry. The carry is AB, BC, AC. So this is my the output functions for sum and carry. Sum is A XOR B XOR C. Carry is AB, BC, AC. Okay. AB, BC, and AC. Okay. Now what you have to do? What is step 6? My step 6 is I need to implement the sum and carry. Implement the output functions using either AND or using either OR AND or using NAND or. It depends upon the function. This is actually nothing has been given, so you can easily implement using the basic gates. So here basic gates are, we need actually AND gate, OR gate, and XOR gate. So we got what actually in sum? We got sum as A XOR B XOR C, and we got carry as AB, BC, and AC. So we need to implement these two output functions using basic gates. So see here what I am going to do actually to implement this. Okay, so I'm going to implement it. Just see here the way I'm doing, you also do the same way. So this is my implementation, step 6. Step 6 is my implementation part. So this is my A. Okay, in order to implement sum and carry, this is my A, this is my B, and this is my C. I'm going to implement sum first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a wire and connect this A, B, and C. All are 3 input XOR. So this gives me sum. of the full adder. Next, what I'm going to do, carry. For carry, I'm going to do A, B, and get. Next, B, C, B, C, and get. Next, A, C, again and get. All will go to one OR get. So this will make carry. So do you all understand? This is my full adder circuit. So this is my full adder where output sum and carry depends upon these three inputs A, B, and C. Okay. Do you all understand or any doubt on this? Please let me know immediately. Any doubt on this? Okay. And also one of the very important thing I'm going to tell you. So very important question. Design full adder using two half adders and an OR gate. This is also very important, students. Design a full adder using two half adder and an OR gate. So what you have to do actually, do you all understand here that what we got actually sum. So for half adder, we need what you have to do is the question asked you this very important 5-mark question. Design a full adder using two half adders and a OR gate. So what you need to do, mainly you need to understand what is given to you and what you need to do. So you need to implement a full adder using half adders and OR gate. Okay, so you'll be given half adder. Now tell me what is half adder. Half adder sum is what? Sum is actually A XOR B and carry is actually A and B. Now you need to design a full adder using full adder. What is full adder? Full adder sum is what? A XOR B XOR C and carry is actually AB BC and CA. Okay, so these are the things, you know it. We have already implemented all these things. Now tell me what I am going to do. Let's say I am designing, thus I am designing. So he has told two half adders required. So according to this, I am just designing. Before that, what I am going to do, what we got carry actually, the carry we got AB, BC, CA. Also the carry expression is what? From this truth table, can you just derive this? What is carry expression? Carry expression is M3, M5, M6, M7. So can I write down this carry expression in SOP form M3, 5, 6, 7? Obviously, yes, I can write down. Now, what is M3? M3, M5, M6, M7. So I can also write down M3 means what? 0, 1, 1, M5 1, 1, 0, 1, M6 is 1, 1, 0, M7 is 1, 1, 1. Now I can write down this. What is min term? Min term means 0 means uncomplement, 0 means complemented variable. So I can write down this as A bar B C, this A B bar C, this A B C, sorry, A B C bar, and finally A B C. Okay, we can write down this way. Now what I am going to do, just simply between these two, A bar B, I have just taken these two and these two. From here, I have taken C and I have got what? A bar B or AB bar. And from this, I have taken AB and I got what? C or C bar. Am I correct? This is the way I can write. Okay, I have just taken these two and taken this two law, so that I got C A bar B AB bar. So I can write down this A bar B AB bar is what? A XOR B. Can I write down this way? And also A B C or C bar is what? Is 1. We know that. Okay, from the existence of invert. Okay, we have already studied this. We have already studied this using Boolean algebra. Next, we have got what? AB or C, A XOR B. This also my carry expression. Am I correct? So there are different ways of carry we can express. This is also a carry expression. Okay, this is also a carry expression. This is also a carry expression. There are different ways I can express the carry for the full adder. Okay, am I correct? So now what I am having actually for the full adder sum, we have A XOR B XOR C, and for carry we have many expressions A B B C C A, and it has summation of m 3 5 6 7. It has carry A B or C A XOR B. We require this expression here. How to design now? Just see here using half adder. How I am going to design a full adders. Okay, just we know that this is my, let's say, A and this is my B. What I have done, I have taken a XOR gate over here and I have told that this is my A XOR B, and I have taken this B and A, and this is my AB. Can I write down this is my completely a half adder? Am I correct, students? This is my half adder. Am I correct? And this is my AB. Okay. Now what I have done, for the sum of full adder, what I need A XOR B and XOR C. A XOR B I have already got here. Am I correct? I have just extend this A XOR B which I have got, and I have taken a C over here. So I took this XOR operation between these two. So I got what here? A XOR B XOR C, which can be nothing else my sum of the full adder. Am I correct, students? So just simply I have taken, because I know that this is my A XOR B, one of the half adder output we got A XOR B. Now I have just extended it and I have taken C and I told that A XOR B XOR C is given my sum. Okay. Now what I have going to do here, my carry. So my carry expression is what? AB or CA XOR B. So what is CA XOR B? Here A XOR B is there already. Am I correct? This is my A XOR B and this is my C. I have done the AND operation between these two, and finally my AB is here. I have taken it and I have done the OR operation between these two, and I can say that this is my carry. Okay, we have already proved it. How? This is my AB and this is my C. This is my C A XOR B. Okay, this is my C and A XOR B. Okay, so finally we got carry here, which is nothing else AB or C A XOR B. Do you all understand? So what do you got from here? So this is also a half adder. Can it be also a half adder? Just see here. This is also another half adder 2. This is my half adder 1, and this is one OR gate. Okay, so what is in the question asked? The question asked here to design a full adder using 2 half adder and an OR gate. So we have done that. Okay, 2 half adder and OR gate. And finally, what you have to do? You have to design it using that way. So this is my half adder 1, where A, B are my outputs, which gives me A XOR B and AB. Okay, where you have taken for the C, which gives you another half adder here HA2, and which gives me sum here A XOR B XOR C, and finally this AB. Okay, finally this AB, and here you got this operation. Here you got from this half adder internal, it's there C and A XOR B. It's internal of the half adder too. So you just take from here this one and make the OR operation, which gives you carry. For carry is nothing else here AB or C A XOR B. Okay, any doubt on this? So finally we have designed our full adder using 2 half adders and a OR gate. Any doubt on this? Please let me know. So this is finally my full adder. Okay, this is my finally my full adder which has been designed. So this is my finally full adder which has been designed using 2 half adders and a OR gate. So this is my sum and carry. This is my sum and carry. Okay, and these are my inputs A, B, C. Okay, so this is very important, students. It will come in the exam, so please try to understand and do properly. Okay, so this is the way we can design a full adder using half adders as well as using the full adders. Full adder can be designed using the half adder, also using the basic gates. Any doubt on this, students? Or let me know. Any doubt whatever we have studied? So what we have understood, we have many carry options and only one sum option, which is AX or BX or C. And carry can be represented for the full adder A B B C C A and summation of them 3 5 6 7, and also carry can be represented as A bar B C or A B bar C or A B C bar or A B C, and carry also be written in A B or C X or B. Okay, AX or B, C AX or B. This is the way we can find out different carry options, and from this we have identified how full adder can be designed using two half adders and a OR gate. So this is my OR gate. Okay, and these are the two half adder 2 and half adder a 1, and finally we have represented using the block diagrams like this: half adder 1, half adder 2, and this is my OR gate, which gives me finally carry, and this is my sum of the full adder. Okay, any doubt on this? Please let me know. Any doubt?